Hi, everybody. Welcome to Luminous Life. I'm Lamia, and today I want to discuss with you something that is close to my heart, part of my own journey, and something that a lot of people struggle with, and that is self love. So, people often mistake self love to be self care, and also a lack of self love is an issue that not everybody recognizes easily. So, today I want to discuss with you the areas in our lives where we can supply ourselves more self love, where we need to supply ourselves with more self love, and how we can put that into action into our lives. So, first up, when you value your time and you value yourself and you value all of your attributes, that is self love. And by that I mean not just loving your physicality or the fact that you're very intelligent, but also recognizing that your time, the time you spend doing activities, the time you spend with people, is also an extension of your energy body. So, on a physical level, I do this little exercise and I get lots of my clients to do it, which is to look in the mirror and start to talk to yourself lovingly, look at certain aspects of your physical body, of your appearance, and talk to yourself lovingly. Say you've been spending a lot of time in the gym and you haven't quite reached the results that you want to reach, but you look in the mirror and you see a little bit of a difference, but you focus on the glass that's half empty, not half full. That means you might have to work on your self love. So when you look in the mirror, the exercise entails that you look at yourself and say, think, and feel positive things about yourself. So if you have put in some time towards exercise, you have been making an effort to have a healthy lifestyle, then you look in the mirror and you're like, I have been amazing. I have done so much work. I have put in the time, effort. I figured out the resources and I have achieved this. So you look at yourself from a perspective of appreciation and love. And also, there's a negative side to this. So when some of us, there's been a time when I've looked in the mirror and I've looked tired, but I've had to remind myself instantly that that fatigue that is showing on my face is probably because I'm pushing myself too hard, or maybe I need to take a little bit of a slowdown, or sometimes I'm also reminded that I've been doing so much, creating such value in the world, and I'm proud of it. So if I look a little tired, it's okay because it's because I've done so much, especially for moms, because you're working all the time, you're taking care of your children, you're managing the house, or even people at work. And when you look at yourself and you look tired, you've been working crazy hours, you're like, oh my God, you start having these judgments of yourself. I don't look good, I haven't taken care of my skin. And it's easy to take that judgment and go down a negative spiral. But if we can look at ourselves and acknowledge all that we've done, it means that you have a pretty healthy and good understanding of yourself. You appreciate yourself and you look at yourself with eyes of love even when you look tired. So let's move next from the physical understanding of self-love and move on to the emotional understanding of self-love. So a lot of us do certain work, and it's important to understand that if you are working really hard, spending a lot of time in doing the work that you're called to do in this world, and you feel that the money you're getting paid for it is not in accordance to the time and effort you put into it, then you need to charge some more. But a lot of people come there and get stuck. They feel like, who's going to pay this kind of pricing? So this is in the work perspective, but this also applies in personal relationships, and I'll just come to that in a moment. So with your emotional energy and your time that you give, whether it's to a job or individual, it has a certain value. And when you go over that value, you start to feel drained. And if you're starting to feel drained, then you know that you need to meet that with more self-love and self-understanding. So if you look at yourself and say, this is what I give to people, whether it's a friendship or this is at work, this is what I give to people, this is what I bring to the table, and it has a certain value, and you stick to it, even if you know that you may have to have lesser time with that individual, it's all right. And you understand it from a part of you that knows deep in your being that this is my value, this is what I will do with my time, whether it's work, whether it's in this friendship or relationship, and start to prioritize yourself. And this is very common also in couples. So there is one couple who is always able to prioritize the other person, and the other one who prioritizes themselves. Now, the ideal situation is to have a nice balance between the two, where you learn how to prioritize your own needs and your own wants, and you also learn to balance them with someone else. The tricky part is that whether it's a work relationship, whether it is a friendship, or even if it's a romantic partnership, if we are not able to value ourselves and what we bring to the table, and we continue to just give, we need to examine self-love a little more. On the flip side, if we continue to just take, we also need to examine self-love a little bit more. So coming back to how you can change this, and that is with boundaries. So when you are thinking about knowing that something doesn't feel right, a certain interaction is not working for you, something your partner does isn't sitting well with you, and you continue to take that without the right communication, or continue to live in that reality without the right communication, you're going to, over time, start to internally not feel so good. And that's another time you got to call in self-love. So, in my perspective, the ability to say the sacred no has been one big part of my journey, but also it's something that's not always easy to do. So time boundaries are one thing when people take your time. Taking you for granted is another boundary that they cross. And so in your journey of reaching back and coming back to self-love, you want to think about how you communicate your needs and draw your boundaries lovingly. Because when we've not got strong boundaries, we'll reach a certain burnout and then have an irritability issue, or we may snap at someone. And that's when you know that, hey, I'm not taking time to love myself and nurture myself, and I need to step back. I'm not valuing what I get into this scenario. And you step back, think about how I want to restructure this, and then go back into that space. And I will do another video on boundaries alone, but this is a good start for you to understand how you can rearrange some of these things to be more loving and kind to yourself. So coming next to the next one, which is the energetic boundaries. So this is a space in which it kind of ties in with both the physical and the emotional, but it goes a little step further. Because every time you enter a scenario with your physical body, you bring in your energetic body with you. And one thing I have found is cleansing your energy is a great way to come back and love yourself. Because you recognize that in the world that we live in, we are constantly exposed to things. We're exposed to thoughts, emotions, perspectives. We're exposed to other people's words. And all of these things leave a certain imprint. And so when you're on your journey of falling back in love with yourself, you will recognize that when your energy is a little bit all over the place, you're not able to put the other boundaries in place, which means that your physical and emotional aspects of self-love may be feeling a little weaker too. So in those cases, there are lots of methods to clean your energy, whether you use salt, whether you use smudging, and I will do another video on that. But you want to take care of your energy body, and I want to explain to you why it's such a big part of self-love. Because your energy body should contain the ocean of love that you feel for yourself. And let that be what you emanate into the world, instead of it being the other way around. Because when we have other perspectives and other energetic imprints on us, we are not able to understand, hey, are my emotional boundaries weak right now? Am I not able to supply myself with the right kind of attention? Am I not able to prioritize myself? So the easiest way to actually step into self-love is to take a check at your energy and take a moment to cleanse your energy, release anything that no longer serves you, and come back to yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need today? What can I offer myself today? Where do I want to go today? Some of the reasons why we are not able to actually bring ourselves to that perspective and that feeling of self love is because we were not maybe taught to. That's one of the first reasons, that we were not taught to nurture ourselves, to love ourselves. We were never taught to prioritize ourselves. And it was, in fact, considered to be better to put the other person first, to be more compromising, to be more sacrificing. And I don't mean to say that we shouldn't not compromise or we should not meet someone halfway. The middle path is the sacred path. I instead want you to understand that there is a balance between the two, where you know how to put your needs forward and also hold space for other people. So now I'm just going to give you a few ways that you can implement self-love in your life on a daily basis. So one of the first ways you'll be able to change your relationship with yourself and come into self-love is to become mindful. Mindful when something feels amiss. Tune into yourself. Take that time before you reach a point of burnout to check with yourself constantly, to ask yourself, how are my thoughts? How am I speaking about myself? What am I saying in my head to myself? And that will be an indication. Are you telling yourself that I never have time? I'm so stressed out? Are you blaming yourself for certain things? Those will be indicators where you need to start becoming more mindful. The next one is to understand what are your wants and what are your needs in life. There are many times that we may want to do something because we love it. For me, it's sometimes, holding a workshop on the weekend or late in the evening. It's part of a job that I really, really love. Or it could be staying out later than usual if you're going out at night and you're seeing friends. Or it might be that you want to sleep in a little more. Whatever it may be that you want to do, but you recognize that you actually need to do something more important. For me, it's easy for me to get carried away working late into the night, and I have to remind myself to slow down and stop at a certain point before it reaches a point where I need a complete day off. So that's recognizing self-love. That's recognizing what your wants are and what your needs are. Because if you can take care of your needs and put them ahead of your wants, you'll be able to come to a place where you are expressing more self-love to yourself. That's recognizing the difference between your needs and wants and how that ties in with your self-love. The third one, I discussed it earlier, which is to cleanse your energy body and to take time to nurture yourself in whatever way, whether it's meditation, whether it's a technique where you can clean out your aura, whether it's a certain kind of a bath you take, whether you sit with your essential oils and just blank your mind and just stay with yourself. Anything that uplifts your energy. Maybe it's being in nature. These are all ways of practicing self-love. And the fourth one is also something I briefly touched upon earlier, which is your boundaries. Learning when to say yes and when to say no, when to pull back and when to push forward. So I gave the example of enjoying to teach on the weekends, but I recognize that when my weekends are busy with work, I often hit Monday and I really crave for some alone time. And as I witnessed that happen to me, I recognize that I need to have some weekends where I can pull back and say, hey, I need to say no to some commitments, whether it's even a social commitment or it's a work commitment, and take that time to just take care of myself, take care of my body, to watch what I want to eat the kind of way I want to eat, to maybe experiment in the kitchen and do things that help me return to my sense of self. And so the next one, the fifth one, is to learn how to forgive yourself when you go wrong. So just think about this for a moment. When someone you love does something wrong, do you forgive them easily? So why should it be different when you do something? If you're someone who tends to beat yourself up about certain things in your mind, you certainly need to examine self-love a little deeper and examine why you have that belief system. Where in your life did you get wired to expect a lot from yourself and not learn to nurture yourself with what you actually need? And if you have a healthy relationship with self-love and you do love yourself very, very deeply, you will come into a place where if you make a mistake or if you've gone wrong, you quickly come back to that forgiveness, you let it go, and then you're able to practice or come back to what you need to address in that moment. So I find that actually forgiveness is a form of self love because you're willing to be soft, loving, easy, and nurturing with yourself. And by virtue of that, you're not going down a spiral of self judgment. And anyway, when we do that, when we go down a spiral of self judgment, we just set ourselves up to attract more of those situations and attract more situations where we are beating ourselves up. So if you can stop that, nip it in the bud and say, hey, I want to forgive myself, I want to move on from this, how can I correct this action? You are starting to practice self-love. And the last one is practicing a good amount of self-care. So we often mistake self-care to be self-love. While getting your nails done, getting your hair color, or anything for your physical appearance may seem like an act of self-love, you might need to examine, are you doing that action from a perspective of filling a void or filling a judgment or meeting a judgmental thought with a certain kind of an action? But very often getting a massage and doing your nails can be a good way to take care of yourself. So what does self-care entail? Self-care is also understanding that you need to sleep for a certain amount of hours. You need to have a certain amount of movement in your life or a fitness in your life. You need to eat in a certain way. And also anything else that feels like you're caring for your body. Like for me, this doing a self-abhyanga, which is an Ayurvedic technique to oil my body. It's a self-care technique of moisturizing your body or giving yourself a self-massage, is a self-care technique that also contributes to self-love. So when you're thinking about self-love, you want to think about the physical body, the emotional body, and the energy body. And that is how you can address that whole issue. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I explained a few things and busted a few myths. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.